Welcome everybody to Chocobo Academy. I'm Second Sponge, aka Chris from the MogPod Final Fantasy TCG podcast, which you can check out every second Tuesday. We'll put a link in the description. I'll be your tutor in these video series, where we explore how to play the Final Fantasy TCG once you know the basic rules. If you don't know the basic rules yet, I highly recommend checking out Square Enix's official Learn to Play video, and come back once you're done. In Chocobo Academy, we'll be tackling issues such as which element matches your playstyle, how to construct your first deck, what is tempo and card advantage, and how they apply to the Final Fantasy TCG. Our first series of Chocobo Academy tackles the very first topic every player asks themselves when starting out: which element should I play? For this first video, I'll go over the general feel and playstyle of each element, and future videos in this series will focus in on a specific element each. Think of this video as a table of contents. Hear about each element, and then check out the in-depth video to see if that element is everything you hoped it would be. Please note that every element has exceptions to the rule. I'll just be going over the general philosophy of each element, but interesting twists on its strategy can flip the element on its head. Our first element is fire. Fire is a proactive, aggressive element. Being proactive, it primarily focuses on advancing its own strategy, and being aggressive, that strategy is to nullify the opponent's defenses and get through for damage. Fire usually deals with opposing forwards by directly damaging them with summons or abilities. Fire is at its best when it's attacking, and forcing the opponent to make difficult decisions about blocking, potentially losing their forward, or taking the damage, which Fire can capitalize on to quickly close out the game. Our second element is Ice. Ice is the polar opposite of Fire. It's a reactive, defensive element. Being reactive, it responds to the opponent's strategy, and being defensive, its own strategy is to nullify the opponent's offense and win by attacking without fear of reprisal, or by punishing the opponent who dares to attack back. Ice has a lot of effects which dull and freeze the opponent's forwards, slowing down the opponent's game plan. Ice is at its best when neither player's forwards engage each other in combat. Our third element is Wind. Wind has multiple ways to reuse its resources in a single turn. Wind cards often combo together to build a board-dominating engine, or allow you to play more cards from your hand than normal. Wind can attack with a forward, then activate it again, which lets it defend you. Wind can dull its backups for CP, pay for a card, then activate those backups again to use them for something else. Wind gets very interesting when you start reusing cards that have interesting effects, such as dealing damage to opposing forwards. Wind cards are often cheap or pseudo-cheap because of their resource reusing policy, and Wind is at its best when it gets to play its cards faster and more efficiently than its opponent. Our fourth element is Earth. Earth is defensive like Ice, but unlike Ice, it is a proactive element. Earth builds a fortress and says to the opponent, "Deal with me first." Earth controls the board by simply having the biggest forwards around, efficiently costed for their size, letting them attack for damage by just being bigger than all the opponent's blockers, or defending themselves for the same reason. Earth is at its best when it has its big forwards in play, and has lots of effects which capitalize on their massive forwards. Our fifth element is Lightning. Lightning is a reactive but aggressive element. Being reactive, it responds to the opponent's strategy before developing its own, which is to attack for damage. Lightning often has forwards that come into play and kill an opponent's forward in some way. This means that Lightning waits until the opponent has played a forward before advancing its own game plan. However, Lightning's forwards tend to be small, so they're not very good at defending you, and they can't get past blockers on their own. So Lightning plays more forwards that kill your opponent's forwards, thus continuing the cycle. Lightning is at its best when the game follows the cycle of the opponent plays a forward, Lightning plays a forward which kills that forward, and then uses the forward they just played to attack. Our sixth element is Water. Water generates lots of resources for itself, like Wind, but unlike Wind, it generates these resources from the deck rather than reusing resources currently on the board. Water overwhelms its opponents by building an army of forwards, all while generating more resources, then cashing in on their numbers and resources with a few well-placed tactical summons. The two final elements are Light and Dark. Light and Dark cards are special because they are very powerful but come at a huge cost. You can't discard them for CP, and you can't play a Light or Dark card if you already have a Light or Dark card in play. As such, you usually can't build a deck where Light or Dark are feature elements, and instead use powerful Light or Dark cards to supplement your main element strategy. So which of the elements sounds most appealing to you? Go check out the more in-depth video of that element and see if it suits your playstyle. Afterwards you can come back and check up on the other videos for the other elements. By the end of it you'll have an answer to the question, which element should I play? Thanks for watching Chocobo Academy. Please leave a like if you enjoy our content and subscribe for updates on new videos to help you learn the ropes of the Final Fantasy TCG.